Good evening, everybody. Let me welcome you on behalf of the Party of European Socialists to our return after the COVID pandemic put us all in lockdown. I'm very happy, as all our party leaders and colleagues, to be in Berlin for the first big event which we are holding in a process when hopefully we get out of this crisis, to discuss with the hosting of SPD our policies as a political family, to discuss the prospects for Europe with courage, with decisiveness to fight for social Europe. And I am happy that tonight and tomorrow we shall have so many representatives from our family, from more than 20 countries, prime ministers, commissioners, party leaders, high representatives from our family. We have many things to discuss, and we have many reasons to be proud of what we have achieved in the last year during this unprecedented crisis, which was so painful for our citizens, which had such a high toll, which was also economic and social, not only human. We managed to deliver. We managed to elaborate and fight for a recovery plan for Europe, where no country is forgotten or abandoned, no person is left behind without a perspective, and this is the socialist, social democratic perspective. And I would like especially to thank SPD, Olaf Scholz as Vice Chancellor and Minister of Finance, in the role which was played by this party of our family for the general change of the paradigm in Europe in social democratic progressive direction, helping our economies, helping to reconstruct growth and to give social protection to the citizens. And I'm delighted this evening to invite to this press point Pedro Sanchez, the Prime Minister of Spain, who just arrived from the European Council. He will join us at the stage. Please, Pedro. And Olaf Scholz, the Vice Chancellor of Germany, and the SPD candidate for Chancellor in the forthcoming elections. Please, you have the floor. Our journalists are eager to hear from you, especially I see there is a big delegation from Bulgaria, so there will be questions also tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Ich freue mich, dass wir hier zusammenkommen können an einem Ort, an dem schon viele Veranstaltungen auch der
I'm very happy that we are able to meet here in Berlin at a place where many events have been hosted by the Social Democratic Party of Germany, SPD, and I'm very happy that we can now meet here together as European Socialists and Social Democrats. It's a very special moment because Europe is challenged like the rest of the world because we are faced with a major crisis, a crisis that was triggered by the coronavirus pandemic, and Europe had to react to overcome this challenge. Well, 10 years ago we were faced by another crisis, but the situation was quite different this time. We're not trying to solve this crisis single-handedly, but Europe stood united and we've taken joint decisions that have allowed us to overcome this pandemic. So the situation has been quite different from 10 years ago. We can now say that we've overcome the major part of the health crisis because the number of EU citizens that have received their vaccine is growing day by day, and we can now live up to our responsibility for the rest of the world, which is something that is very dear to my heart. Europe has given a very strong response to fight this crisis, and this has made sure that companies stayed alive and we have kept and maintained jobs in Europe. This is an important message for the future. We've embarked on this journey. We've decided to stand united and to send a strong signal from the European level, and this gives us now good reason to hope for a strong economic recovery. But the EU recovery plan, which has now been developed by the EU and which has been discussed by the Council of Ministers, is a way to conquer the future together, and this is what we need to stick to, and we need to do everything that we can that a sovereign Europe will stay with us as one of the major tasks of years to come. We need to do everything we can so that we can live up to expectations and fulfill this task and mission. I'm very happy that so many high-ranking representatives of socialist and social democratic parties have come here to Berlin, that we will have meaningful deliberations and that we can do that here in Berlin. I can give you a promise on behalf of the German Social Democrats. I can tell you now, blush, that Germany will continue to be a driving force for the European integration. Our world will soon have 10 billion inhabitants, and in such a world we need a strong and sovereign Europe. We need economic cohesion, and we need to drive the social Europe of the social future of the European Union.
Well, first of all, let me thank the SPD and also the PES for gathering this very important summit, very important conversation that we're having on the future of Europe. I'm very glad to be in Berlin. I'm here to support the SPD and also Olaf as the best candidate to become Chancellor in the next German elections in September. I've known Olaf for some years, and I always admire from Olaf his determination, his vision, not only for Europe but also for Germany. I also admire his not only his vision but also his determination and political commitment with our progressive values and ideas. Olaf was instrumental in building the new economic consensus that we have nowadays in order to face this huge economic and social challenge made by the pandemic and COVID-19. The Sure Fund, the Next Generation European Union, those instruments, we have it also and mainly because of the leadership of Olaf Scholz. And finally, I also share with Olaf that it is very important to have a strong Europe, because to build up national political projects in Spain, in Germany, we need also a very strong political and attractive project at the European level. So I'm happy to be here in Berlin. I'm happy to support the SPD and Olaf Scholz, and I think that Olaf and the SPD is the best alternative for the best of Europe and the best of Germany. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much for your attention. I would now invite our leaders, commissioners, prime ministers, all to take their seats for our working meeting, which is starting immediately. Thanks a lot. Until tomorrow, to the media.